So this is gonna be CDPR giving us our first look into Cyberpunk 2077 2.0. Let's see.
We just got the best look yet at Phantom Liberty and patch 2.0 for Cyberpunk 2077. Just yesterday, we got another edition of Red Streams, where community managers and devs alike gave us an extended look at what is coming with this new Phantom Liberty expansion, but also the patch 2.0 update. And this was the big one, as we got some real and rather raw gameplay of the new skill trees, the police rework.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, that shooting from the car looked a little bit meh.
And even some of Phantom Liberty itself. This is by far the best look we've had thus far at all of the new content coming to Cyberpunk 2077, and even if you watch the stream, trust me, there's a ton to break down throughout all of this. But if for some reason you don't own Phantom Liberty yet, you can buy it right now on GOG using my affiliate link down below, and I'll even get a small kickback. But to kick off the stream, we get an introductory look as to how Phantom Liberty begins. And if you're trying to avoid spoilers, don't worry that much. We're really just seeing the early segment of Phantom Liberty. This is literally how the questline is going to begin, so there's no major spoilers here. Although,
is this the same bike we previously saw, the new jumping triple air dash slam thing? It kind of slightly looks like it.
Phantom Liberty won't technically be available right from the start of a new playthrough. Instead, the Phantom Liberty questline is going to begin right after the Bridget and Voodoo Boys questline.
Okay.
So a decent chunk into the game, but CDPR is aware that a ton of people are going to just want to jump right into Phantom Liberty, so during character creation, you're actually able to skip ahead in the game directly to that moment. So if you do want to use a new character, but don't have to replay all of that old familiar content. Alternatively though, you could just use one of your existing saves, and if you're past this point already, Songbird's going to reach out to you as soon as you load into that save. And you are going to be able to play both the vanilla story and Phantom Liberty at the same time, or even switch in between the two as you progress. And things for Phantom Liberty are going to open up with a call from an unknown.
Yeah, all of that is just basic things how it happens. You're not locked into one location, even though technically Phantom Liberty is supposed to take place in a location that's locked down, but you know, that's whatever. But yeah, this is currently extremely basic and whatever. You get fast access to it because people want to play it, and well, you know, you can leave any time and you're not stuck there, and in case you don't exactly like it or want to do something else. Perfectly making sense currently.
Caller. This is going to be from Songbird, one of the new main characters in Phantom Liberty, who at the start is going to be on the plane with Rosalind Myers, president of the new USA. Kurt Hansen, ruler of Dogtown, has hacked the plane and blocked all communication except between Songbird and us thanks to the relic in our head. It's the relic that's allowing...
Yeah, but the character's name's Songbird. You kind of know they're probably gonna be betraying you.
Songbird to communicate with us
or
at
you
all.
Can betray
and we can see a more visceral glitch effect here. Songbird's hacking into the relic and is able to interact with us in a way that's pretty similar to how Johnny normally interacts with us. And the way this kicks off and introduces you is Songbird's attempting to make a deal for your life. Songbird knows the relic will kill us, and she says if we help her, she will help us fix our relic problem. Songbird's meant to be an incredibly powerful netrunner. I mean, even right off the bat, you could see her disable Johnny just by tapping him, which is pretty insane. And I mean, she's literally a netrunner working side by side with the president. She's top tier, so it makes sense that she can actually do something about our relic problem. And we can see this opening quest will direct us to Dogtown, which from this new gameplay looks absolutely epic. The minimum system requirements are being increased with this expansion, and you can certainly see why. Night City looks better than ever.
I mean, this is true, actually. This does look better than anything they... Well, I wouldn't say exactly anything, but this looks more better than they have delivered previously on. So that's a pretty big deal. Wow. Look at this. It actually does look impressive. And I very rarely say that about games, honestly. Usually it's like, okay. It just kind of slightly resembles what you would expect to see in life. So that makes it garbage. But this is different.
Ever in some of these new visuals. And one of the big new features is introduced via Songbird, who activates the new relic skill tree in our head. The new relic skill tree will enhance your cyberware, and although it is just opened up here by Songbird, to get more relic points to spend, you're going to have to find these Militech data terminals that are scattered all around Dogtown. It's basically described how these are remnants from a war of the past, so it makes sense that they're still just sitting here. And we get a really good look at the new relic skill tree.
That's actually really cool because, you know, I and a lot of other people initially thought that this relic system is just going to be like a level up system. Well, it's technically still a level up system, even if you get to if you're supposed to get some kind of data storage or whatever. But at least it's a little bit different, which is very cool.
See many of the available abilities and perks that we will be able to unlock. Jailbreak is the ability that was shown in the trailer earlier this week. It's going to basically be new and enhanced abilities for all of the ARM cyberware. And based off the gameplay, it looks like this first perk with Jailbreak is going to be automatically unlocked by Songbird right at the start.
Oh, by the way, I just want to mention one thing about these animations. Look at the Mantis
It's going
blade.
to basically be new and enhanced abilities for all of the ARM.
There you go. Look at this. You understand his arm needs to be like this for that to happen. It's like there's just no world where that's going down, you know. just a slight nitpick that this actually makes zero sense. It's kind of funny.
Cyberware. And based off the gameplay, it looks like this first perk with Jailbreak is going to be automatically unlocked by Songbird right at the start of Phantom Liberty. But there's a variety of other main perks as well. Emergency Cloaking enhances optical camo to make enemies forget your location even if combat already began, which honestly sounds super powerful. A way to re-establish stealth even after combat is broken out is really strong. Vulnerability Analytics allows you to detect vulnerabilities in enemy armor or cyberware, and landing shots there will deal bonus damage. There's going to be a weak spot mechanic.
Yeah, this is cool. I like it. They're adding everything for every type of player. Stealth players, sniper players, you know, go in, melee players, blah, blah, blah. Everyone gets a piece.
Mechanic for Cyberpunk. We've seen it in some past gameplay where you basically just land shots in a certain area to deal bonus damage. And we can see relic perks are going to also have secondary smaller perks to enhance their functionality even further. Such as here we have machine learning, which will make it so after you destroy an enemy's vulnerability or weak spot, you deal bonus damage against subsequent vulnerabilities you hit. So basically keep hitting weak spots and you'll keep dealing more damage. And it seems like the main perks are going to cost 3 points here, while the secondary perks will only cost 1 point. And we can see some of the other
fresh black tea. Oh jeez, does it have a kick when it's just fresh? Woo!
Secondary perks for ARM cyberware as well. Data tunneling seems to reveal two things. It mentions how if you hit an enemy affected by a monowire uploaded quick hack, subsequent hits on other enemies will spread that quick hack. So one, it sounds like you can now upload quick hacks via monowire, this likely being the monowire enhancement from this core relic trait. It's very likely that if you upload a quick hack using monowire, you have to be closer to that enemy, but it's probably cheaper, or even just a more powerful version of that quick hack. And if you've been following Cyberpunk for a while, you probably remember this as it was actually shown in the 2019 demo of the game. Seems like originally you could only upload quick hacks using monowire, but obviously that was cut from the final build. So it's really awesome to see this come back in a unique and enhanced way. And it sounds incredibly strong, being able to spread quick hacks with melee attacks from monowire. Launch capacity over...
I mean, that's good, but it's like, the spread range is obviously not gonna be like huge or something like that. But obviously.
Ride gives the projectile launch system 1 additional charge. Limited removal will make the shockwave attack from gorilla arms knock down all enemies within range. By default, it'll likely just knock down the enemy you punch directly. And spatial mapping makes it so all leap attacks with mantis blades will cripple enemies and are more likely to dismember them. Overall, I love that they're finally adding in a new skill.
Probably the coolest, by the way, the last one. Everything else except one rocket sounds like a little bit meh.
For the relic, although I'm pretty surprised by how...
I mean, this is all that can be improved, though, so it's still technically good, really good.
Focused it is. ARM cyberware alone is going to make up over half of the perk options here, but even still, I think in general this should unlock some pretty epic new gameplay opportunities and new ways to build around certain gameplay. I know for me, I'm super excited to try this new monowire functionality and see how...
Yeah, I don't know about you, but are you sold with the vehicle combat? It seems a little bit like meh. I don't know. I think you should be probably doing this from third person, not first person. Otherwise, it's like it feels off. It feels like you're here, but the gun just moves literally everywhere without any problems, which is kind of tilting me. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know. Are you sold on this? I think it needs to be slightly better or adjusted or something, because this looks just unrealistic, unreasonable for
How
me.
that can synergize with other Netrunner builds in general. In the background footage, as they're verbally explaining the relic tree, we get a preview of a variety of other perks and the reworked perk trees coming with the 2.0 update. We can see that the tree is now tiered. Different segments of the perk tree are going to be locked dependent on how many points you have.
By the way, some perks are references to edge runners. There's one for each character almost. Well, for the cooler ones like Davy and everyone else, but yeah.
Having the overarching attribute. And there's going to be some broader changes on how this all works. Perks can now be refunded individually. So if you pick a perk and then realize, oh, I don't really like this, you could just refund it and spend that point elsewhere, giving you far more build flexibility.
Obviously,
and attributes
good.
are going to have one full reset per playthrough now. So if you just want to start completely over, you can also go that route, which is really nice to finally have. Skill levels are going to be reworked somewhat. You can see here that each level of a skill is going to do something slightly different. Level 1 and 2 are just really going to be stat bonuses, while level 3 is a new and full-fledged ability with
Dude, Starfield wannabe enjoyers on literally self-delete. Watch, look at that. A skill tree that isn't just a number added to it. Beautiful, look at that. It doesn't matter how bad they are, because some of them are going to be pretty bad, let's be real. But at least it's something, you know? You get a little bit of a stat boost, which is beautiful, and then you actually get something even bigger, which is actually good. You know, we're talking about the good perk system. We're talking about Fallout New Vegas here. We're not like Fallout 76 or any of that garbage. Now this is what you want, and you know, some basic stats, pluses because it makes you feel good, and something that actually is activatable and nice. Now this is big. Now this is actually what I want. If everything was just like, you know, a plus 2% to damage X or whatever, I would call it garbage, and it might as well not be in the game, honestly. But the fact that you have something like this at the end, so good.
Overclock mode. So when you run out of RAM, you can now activate overclock mode to use quick hacks, and it's just going to cost some of your HP. Dashing has an entire tree connected to it now, and tons of bonuses for some high movement gameplay. And one change that I
mean, that's very cool.
missed, even during my own hands-on, is shooting a weapon is now going to use stamina. You can see in this gameplay, with each shot fired, the stamina is going away slightly, and there's going to be a variety of new perks to lower the stamina cost of firing. Even separate from this, we know that healing items are going to now have a cooldown with Phantom Liberties. You're not able to just spam healing items continuously, and there's going to be some perks to affect that also.
I think the stamina thing for shooting, honestly, is going to be ending up as who honestly cares type of deal. Let's be real. Either it's too overpowered and, you know, everyone needs to always spec into it, or it's underpowered and no one's gonna catch. So the stamina thing about shooting, no. But the healing's a nice touch.
Like with this 2.0 update, Cyberpunk is becoming a bit more hardcore, and I feel like fans are definitely going to have strong opinions on this one way or another. Bleeding is getting reworked with this update. It's not going to finish enemies directly, but a bleeding enemy is more susceptible to a finisher as well as dismemberment in general. We saw quite directly in the most recent trailer how cyberware has been overhauled, so now it's going to largely act as your armor, but you'll also have certain limits on how much cyberware you can have installed at a given time.
But admittedly, again, you should be probably capable of buying clothes that give armor. It's like a pivot, honestly, at this point. You know, previously it was just clothes. Now it's like, okay, I'm gonna implant this thing in your head, and now you have more armor in your pinky. Like, can't we have a mix? It would just only make sense.
I know though, CDPR has definitely not added in full-scale cyberpsychosis. This new Edge Runner perk is going to give you the ability to go over the cyber...
you see that? Yeah, they have Lucy, and they have, I forgot her name, but the little almost god chick that everyone wants to fuck. What's her name? Rebecca. There we go. But yeah, Nice.
Cyberware limits. This will come at the cost of some of your overall health, but how far you go over this limit will lead to a percentage chance of entering a fury state when you finish an enemy. So although it's not cyberpsychosis, you could basically go into an altered and enhanced fury state, and it's going to be more likely the more cyberware you have installed. So it's
I touched on this the last video, but I would love them implementing cyberpsychosis, and it would honestly be the easiest thing to implement that, you know? And you could easily get, like, tiers of it. Like, first tier cyberpsychosis. You just glitch out and see things that you potentially would want to attack or they could attack you, so you preemptively attack them. And max level cyberpsychosis, you glitch out and, well, you think actually people are attacking you, and at one point, imagine you just come back to reality and you're like, oh my, this is a bunch of civilians and shit. Well now, that would be absolutely awesome. I don't know why they're not doing it. Probably because it's actually kind of complicated, I'd imagine. But that would be cool. Maybe for the future.
It's kind of almost similar to cyberpsychosis without quite fully being that. And some perks are even going to unlock new cyberware slots for you. Adrenaline's going to be a new mechanic implemented by perks that will give you the ability to overheal and basically have a larger health bar temporarily. And during some later gameplay, we even see our character seemingly self-revive after reaching 0 HP, which looks like a pretty epic new ability. And in the more extended gameplay they share, we can see a lot of these new perks in action. New finishers around blunt weapons, where you could just finish the enemy or alternatively pick them up and throw them. There's going to be far less recoil with heavy weapons if you have a high enough body attribute. And
I think the throw thing is cool, but it's just like, okay, you're throwing someone into someone with armor. Like, are they really gonna care? No, probably. It's gonna be annoying, but you know, man.
the new Quake perk where you could slam the ground in front of you, creating a shockwave that impacts all of the enemies around. And if you do this next to a vehicle, it'll also impact the vehicle. And what really strikes me about all of this is how much more ability focused combat will genuinely be. Going down a skill tree just won't be about increasing your damage with certain weapon categories anymore. Now you will legitimately have a ton of new functionality depending on how you build out your character, which is really exciting to me. But then we continue on seeing a bit more of the opening of Phantom Liberty. We can see our initial entrance into the new district with Dogtown. The original idea behind Dogtown was going to be this dream section of Night City, where people with tons of money would have some next level experiences. Unfortunately though, a war broke out, leading to many corps leaving the area, and as a result, we now have this very damaged and at points near post-apocalyptic landscape around us. Dogtown is designed to be a completely decayed and dystopian world, but also one without the same laws as the rest of Night City. In some of the gameplay, we could see ourselves getting acquainted with a couple of Barghest soldiers. There's going to be the faction currently in power in Dogtown, controlled by Kurt Hansen, and seemingly we get some opportunities to mingle with them early on during the questline. But this is relevant in what you'll find. There's effectively a different ruling body here with their own set of laws, and as such, many people who had to flee Night City ended up in Dogtown. What you did might have been illegal in Night City, but it's not illegal and you're not wanted in Dogtown. And in this gameplay, we can see an absolutely hilarious transition where we are taking some chems and are instructed to picture ourselves as Kurt Hansen. And then lo and behold, we cut to a gameplay segment where we are literally playing as Kurt Hansen. We can see his home in the Black Sapphire here, and described how the closer you get to the Black Sapphire in Dogtown, the more militarized the areas will become, with this location almost feeling like a full-scale military base with tons of soldiers all over it. And some of the follow-up gameplay, we can see more of just how pretty Dogtown is. Even despite the destruction in some areas, you can see that there's definitely been a clear focus on certain locations to maintain or repair them. And to me, throughout the entirety of this gameplay, it just felt like there was a bit more going on. Like the city was more active, there were a few more NPCs than we typically would
I mean, it kind of looks like Las Vegas.
have, and I have to imagine
I mean, that's probably like the point to a certain degree.
a lot of this is going to be due to the additional upgrades they can make thanks to ditching the old gen of consoles and raising the minimum system requirements on PC. And they share some other details
Wait, what do you mean ditching the old gen of consoles? Is that even legal? I mean, damn. Are they I don't believe it.
Kurt Hansen is described as being both a businessman and a warlord. It is seemingly Kurt Hansen who's
The
shooting
best
down
combo.
the president's ship, just like we saw in past gameplay and trailers, although that's actually going to be about an hour into the story. And after we rescue the president from her crashed ship, we're going to have this segment where we're on the run with her. That's what they showed next during the Red Stream, several hours into Phantom Liberty, with us now fully on the run with the president. And in the scene, we're basically just discussing what's going on with the president, the political moves Kurt Hansen is making by taking her down, and the political play that's in action here. They confirmed that with Phantom Liberty there's going to be a new apartment available, although there is not going to be any new romance options. It feels like the most obvious choice for a romance option would have been the president, Rosalind Myers, especially when you consider—
Yeah, again, I just can't. The driving scenes, I mean, you should at least see one hand, you know, on the steering wheel or something like that. It's just something about the shooty in the cars is off for me.
A romance option would have been the president, Rosalind Myers, especially when you consider her and V are
also when you notice something happening, your gun doesn't even move. It's like it feels so off.
The run together, but the devs described how this just didn't feel honest to the story, nor some of the characters, so they didn't add it in. But then we get a look at one of the most anticipated new features with the police rework and vehicle combat. And this opens just perfectly, chilling in a car with 2 red dots for our vehicle-mounted machine guns, and then mowing down some passerbys on the side of the road with those weapons. And after years of watching both devs and media not necessarily have the best aim while demoing games, it is incredibly refreshing to see that the person driving this car is somehow a god and can aim while navigating around. We very quickly see ourselves become wanted by the police, with 2 notable things happening. First off, we could see police cars driving up to greet us with
I mean, we just still, by the way, saw him starting to fire things, and then the car's like, I'm just gonna slowly drive through here, and it was fine. Bruh. It's still some fixing needs to be done, that's for sure.
Patch 2.0, police now always seem to spawn in vehicles, and they will chase you down when you're wanted, even if you're on foot, as well as we interestingly have a new 5th star wanted level compared to the typical 4 stars you have in Cyberpunk right now. And beyond just the built-in weapons and reworked police chases, the systems have a variety of other new features also. You can now hack other vehicles, you can use regular weapons out of the windows of your car, but you can also use things like melee weapons while driving a motorcycle, and vehicles even—
Wait, did we just see the cops spawn
also
here?
Use things like melee—
Oh no, that's just bad animation.
Other vehicles, you can use regular weapons out of the windows
look at the car
of your car, but you can also use things like a melee weapon.
You can see them getting out, then they glitch. And this is Fallout 76 type of bullshit when you're stealth. When enemies don't know you're there, they don't even suspect you're there, but they're randomly gonna switch from aggressive stance, passive stance, and all of that crap is happening. This is this.
Weapons while driving a motor.
Yeah, that's a bit awkward. You're never gonna notice it in game. Well, you are probably gonna notice it in game if you're gonna watch them like get out of the car, but I mean, it's a shame the game wasn't at this point when it was released, right? But it's slowly getting there. 2 more years and it's probably going to be a great game, honestly. Same for Diablo 4. 5 more years and it's going to probably be a great game, honestly.
Motorcycle, and vehicles even have weak spots now, most notably their gas tanks, and every car is going to be different, as well as you could shoot out the tires on a car to slow them down.
Mafia
the police
2
AI is
style,
reworked
nice.
here too. Initially they're just going to show up to the reported last location of your crime, but the more stars you have, the more police will chase you down. And if you're wanted for a while, they're going to employ more aggressive tactics, like pit maneuvers, or even roadblocks will be set up to get you. And we get a couple of cool previews here. At higher wanted levels, police will bring out their own weaponized vehicles also, but then there's also MaxTac, who's going to come in via their own dropship and take you out. MaxTac does seem to always arrive on foot via dropship, and a lot of
the fact that you can see the animation of them arriving, and it's clear that it's bugging out because they're not actually dropping for such a long time.
Drive away from them?
Well, yeah. They're specially waiting here until Max Tech decides to drop because something's bugging out. It's so easy to tell.
Turns out, if you are in a car
Bruv.
as Max Hack is coming to arrive, they'll actually hack your vehicle to disable it. As well as it is described during the stream that Max Hack's going to have 5 variants, and each drop will contain 4 of those 5 different variants. So there's likely going to be a bit more variability in what type of Max Tech members can spawn around you.
Yeah,
And the
look
police
at
response
this.
you get will
Yeah.
even vary by
No,
district.
wait, is this a bug?
In Dogtown, bar guest soldiers will respond when you become
Yeah, it takes them so long. Max Tech should be fast. Look at these guys. It's like they're probably talking about how's the weather up there or something like that. Jeez.
wanted, and in the Badlands, Militech's going to respond instead. Although, if you do get a full 5 stars, it doesn't matter where you are, MaxTac will respond to that threat. But even if you are in a typical Night City district with NCPD responding and patrolling, how they respond will be determined by which district you're in. So if you commit a crime in a better funded
He
and more
missed the
well-patrolled
throw.
district, you'll get a more extreme response. But if you're in the lesser areas of Night City, even if you
Nice.
do become wanted, the police won't try as hard. And to take full advantage of some of these new gameplay systems around vehicles and vehicle combat, there's going to be a bunch of new vehicle gigs added in. There's going to be new vehicles to steal for El Capitan in both Dogtown and Night City, and doing these missions is how you're going to unlock some of the new vehicle weapons like missile launchers. But as you can see from the gameplay, you're going to be chased down during some of these gigs, and it's going to be a real-time way to use some of the new vehicle combat mechanics with a story attached to it. And during this, they mention how there's also going to be a new perk to enable vehicle hacking, and the deeper you get into net running, the more options you'll have as far as hacking vehicles go. With one of the most powerful options
Isn't there just 3 options? Blow it up, speed it up, stop it?
being the ability to remote control other vehicles. You could basically make them do whatever you want. And towards the end of the stream, they even addressed what was my biggest criticism of the Phantom Liberty marketing overall, as they more clearly lay out what features are going to be a part of Phantom Liberty versus what are going to be a part of patch 2.0, aka which of these new features are going to cost money versus which will be free for all existing owners. So first off, the free Update 2.0 features. This new perk tree is going to be totally free, as well as the revamped police
Good.
system and vehicle combat will be free and added for everyone. But on the paid side, we have Dogtown overall.
Yeah,
You're
the
going to
big
only
one.
be able to access Dogtown if you own the expansion. The
Okay, this was my concern. Not a lot of people commented about it, so I don't know what other people are thinking, but considering Cyberpunk 2077 did not come out even 1/10 of what was advertised as, are you okay with paying money for this DLC, considering the full game is technically not even still out? They're still fixing things, they're still making improvements. Are you... Does it feel that you are cheated? That you need to buy this DLC? That you're not just getting it for free? Okay? And let's stop with the, oh, it's a company, it needs to make money. That's bullshit, okay? I'm not gonna explain this for the 15th time this week. But that's bullshit and you should never think like that. They have enough money already. They have plenty of money. Considering they actually were not on the verge of bankruptcy, which was something that I thought that could happen if they get sued enough when Cyberpunk came out for lying to investors. But you know, that turned out good for them and they didn't go bankrupt.
relic skill tree is only for Phantom Liberty, as well as these new car gigs are only
Oh
going to
yeah, true. Also, the new relic system, obviously, considering it's unlocked in the expansion, is gonna be only for the expansion. So yeah, how are you feeling about this? Do you feel cheated? Do you feel okay?
for Phantom Liberty owners. They do explicitly confirm here that Phantom Liberty is dropping on September 26th, but Update 2.0 is coming a bit before that. We don't know exactly when Update 2.0 is coming out, but the earliest it can release is September 11th.
already
So
know
this is a
that.
weird legal thing going on right now. Update 2.0 is raising the system requirements for Cyberpunk 2077, and legally CDPR has to give 90 days notice before this patch can be applied. So yeah, it's going to be this weird scenario where the
Okay.
huge 2.0 update actually drops a week or two before the massive expansion. Honestly, to me, this is almost kind of nice in that these two videos will be more naturally and organically broken up
Wait,
into
which one is supposed to be the good one here?
two different segments. But you're gonna have this
I don't know, but they sometimes show the graphics side by side. I'm like, okay, so which one is supposed to be the good one? Because I can't actually tell.
little weird period where you will only have access to Update 2.0, and you'll have to wait a couple of extra weeks to actually get full access to Phantom Liberty. As well as at the end of the stream, they just share a variety of new details about the game overall. Netrunning got some overhauls here. You're now going to be able to queue hacks on individual enemies, so upload multiple at once that will apply over time. This seems incredibly powerful, especially for tougher enemies or boss fights. Smart weapons and monowire have been upgraded to now synergize even better with netrunning, described as giving netrunning a whole new rhythm when paired.
I mean, that's a max stake guy, by the way. Yeah, sure, he's taking a lot of damage, but he's not exactly doing a lot, you know? He did a little bit of that, you know? I am Barry Allen, the fastest man alive, from one side to the other, but that didn't achieve a lot, not gonna lie.
With monowire or smart weapons. For the story of Phantom Liberty, we hear how it's going to be intertwined to the main story in that V's situation, aka the Relic, is a core part of Phantom Liberty.
Oh, and that guy bugs out of the car when he does the slam.
But it seems like beyond the Relic tie-in, Phantom Liberty is largely going to be its own contained story. Some areas of Dogtown will feel post-apocalyptic with how they've been abandoned and now are overgrown, and there's going to be a new level limit in the game. The expansion will raise the level limit to 60, so 10 more levels to play around.
Well, I think that's honestly it. Anyway, that's Juicehead. Good Cyberpunk stuff. We have watched a lot. Interesting. Very, very good breakdowns. Anyway, this was Quizzer Said. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.